So today we're going to be reading the Trollpasta known as MaRIo. This is the first in an atrocious 3-episode long Trollpasta about MaRIo and, well, the shit he gets up to, I guess. Without any further ado, this is MaRIo. I was asked to clean out my father's house after he passed away. He was a huge gaming nerd. He even camped out for the release of the NES when he was about my age, 19. He had them all: Atari 2600, Atari Flashback, Magnavox Odyssey 2000 through 5000, NES, SNES, N64, NGC, Wii, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, DS, DS Lite, DSi, 3DS, Xbox 360, PlayStation 1 through 3, PSP, and the PS Vita. He might have even had a Wii U if he was alive long enough for the release. I was in my father's house alone, cleaning out the basement. I grabbed one of the last cardboard boxes down there and I noticed how light it was. I was wondering why it was so light. I peeked inside to find one old NES game cartridge. It did not have a game label on it. It only had MaRIo, crudely written by my father with a permanent marker. I became curious. Why was this game all by itself in a box? Why was the label torn off? And why was it written on? And why was MaRIo spelled so crudely? Since my father handed me down all of his games and consoles, which included the NES, I decided to take it home and figure it out for myself. I got home and set up the NES, immediately popped the game in and started it up. Things already seemed off. The game had no startup screen. It simply just placed me at the start of the first level of what appeared to be the classic game we all know and love, Super Mario Bros. Well, this game is old, I thought to myself. Maybe it's just a bit glitchy. And that's why it skipped the startup screen. My dad did buy it at midnight release after all, so I continued. As I expected, the game was rather glitchy. Sometimes when grabbing a fire flower would make Mario small, and the stars only worked 75% of the time. As well, Toad never said the message that he had to you at the end of every castle. You know, the "Thank you, Mario, but our princess is in another castle." He never said anything. That was until World 7's castle. Only one step closer to becoming one of us. This message made me chuckle a little. I assumed my father had hacked the game, for laughs. And that was why it was so glitchy before. Things got weird after that. In level 1-8, the sky was a dark red and the music was a little bit slower than usual. The whole level was nothing but 5 minutes of walking. No enemies, no obstacles, just the damn ground. Reaching the end of the level, I grabbed the flag. The ending fanfare did not play, and the fireworks sounded more like gunshots than 8-bit explosions. Okay, that was strange, I thought to myself. What was the point of that? Oh well, on to the next. Level 2-8 was even stranger. The sky was an even darker red, and the music played even slower. This time, there were enemies. I was approached by a Koopa Troopa, and for points I jumped on him. The delightful little noise that plays when you jump on an enemy did not play this time. Instead, there was a squish accompanied with the cracking of bones and a slight groan. This was weird and sadistic. It did not seem like anything my father would do. In fact, he in no way condoned anything scary in my house when I was growing up. He never let my older sister or myself play any scary games, watch any scary movies. We did it at a friend's house, of course, but that was besides the point. I moved on and ran into a Goomba. To make sure the sound from earlier was just a glitch, I jumped on. The same sound played. I was becoming unsettled, to say the least. When I reached the end of the level, the same thing happened as it at the end of the previous level. I noticed something even more weird. The spot on the screen that showed what level you are did not display World 8-3, instead it showed World, followed by the symbol on the flag at the end of the level that looked like a skull. I know it's not actually a skull, but it looks like one. The third level of World, Skull, was even stranger. The sky was a dark red, much darker than before, and the music did not even play. The enemies that I came to were already dead. Their bodies appeared twisted and mangled like someone had beaten them to death. I reached the end. There was no flag or anything like that. Just a castle that had "Welcome, MaRIo" painted on the front of it in what I assumed to be blood. Reluctantly, I entered. The screen that shows your status between levels said I had X0 lives, and I was in world D-ED. I was pale and trembling with fear. Just what was this game? The castle was like the first level of World Skull. There was no obstacles or slow music. I walked straight for what seems like 15 fucking minutes. My timer is 0, but the level she keep on going. It felt like MaRIo was not alone, like someone was watching his every move. My only questions were, what was MaRIo's mission in this sadistic, twisted game? What did he want to accomplish, and why? I had to finish the game to know. Finally, I came to the end of the level. There stood Bowser. His eyes were missing, and his belly was fleshless. I prepared to fight him, but he quickly grabbed MaRIo. He began laughing evilly, realistically, sounds that could not be made on an 8-bit console. It became clear to me this was no hack. Bowser bit MaRIo's head off. His body shivered and struggled as Bowser dragged him behind the battle scene, where Peach was supposed to be. I was expecting to see Princess Peach. Oh, who am I kidding? I was not expecting that anything would save me from this nightmare. I saw Toad, Luigi, and Peach. However, both Luigi and Peach had toad heads on their bodies. Bowser grabbed the toad head and stuck it on MaRIo. He placed him next to the others and then proceeded to rip his own head off and pull out his intestines. Text appeared. Press B for a harder quest and you can become one of us. I threw the controller at my screen so damn hard it actually broke. I ejected the cartridge and threw it on the wall. It fell into pieces. And I noticed that there was a note inside. I picked it up and read it. Dear son, you're next. Love, Dad. I threw both the game and the letter into a fire and started my fireplace. I will never be able to get that sadistic picture of my beloved characters out of my head. To this day, I cannot play Super MaRIo Bros. And the other morning, I woke up to see MaRIo carved into my arm. To take my mind off things, I began looking through the other NES games. On the top of the stack there was Super MaRIo Bros. 2. However, the label was different, spelled Super MaRIo Bros. 2. The picture was The picture of MaRIo carrying the turnip was instead replaced with MaRIo with an angry toad head carrying Birdo's decapitated head instead of the turnip. After that, I decided to never play any MaRIo game ever again. Whatever was on this game could only be worse. Thank you for reading. I wanted someone to know about this before something happened to me.